Hi, I'm Theo Gilbert-Jamison with Performance Solutions by Design. And in this session, we're focusing on getting to 90%, how to achieve and sustain 90% or higher customer satisfaction. Now, the purpose of this session is to educate, inspire, and engage you in a lively discussion around what's needed to raise the bar and elevate the customer experience. And here's a quick snapshot of what we'll be covering throughout this session. And at the end of the session, I'd like to take a few minutes to tell you about a new program I'm launching that's focused on this same topic. And if you stay until the very end, I have a special gift that 2 lucky participants will win. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with me, I am a keynote speaker, author, consultant, and an executive coach. And most of my career has been dedicated to helping senior leaders, mid-managers, and regular employees like you and I elevate the customer experience from average to extraordinary. So let's jump right into the topic at hand and start by uncovering some great statistics that strongly reinforce the importance and need to focus on achieving and sustaining 90% or higher customer satisfaction. As you see, feeling unappreciated is the #1 reason most customers switch away from products and services. And after just one negative experience, most customers will never do business with a company again. And we've all personally experienced this one. 77% of customers will recommend a friend after having a positive service experience. That's what we call word-of-mouth advertising, which is the most powerful form of marketing on the planet. And when it comes to employees, companies that make a concerted effort to improve their customer experience also see employee engagement rates increase by an average of 20%. However, this is the most important statistic. Why should we be focused on achieving 90% or better customer satisfaction? Well, because often it results in higher customer retention. And increasing customer retention by as little as 10% could result in a 25 to 95% increase in profits. So before I delve into my strategy and tips for achieving and sustaining 90% customer satisfaction, let me briefly share a few common challenges leaders often struggle with. And as I review them, I'd like you to self-assess and consider if any of them sound or feel familiar. Does it seem like consistently scoring 90% or higher customer satisfaction is almost unachievable? Like you're working harder and harder to improve each year, often left wondering why you're unable to achieve sustainable results? Are you often frustrated because your bonuses are getting smaller because your team just can't consistently hit targeted customer satisfaction scores? Have you achieved 90% in the past but have been unable to sustain it over a long term? Or are you experiencing continual pressures from every side to provide higher levels of customer service? Well, guess what? You're not alone. Many leaders are facing the same challenges. And just like you, they are constantly seeking effective ways to overcome them for the long term. So what would it mean for you, your team, and organization if you could rapidly overcome all of these pressures and challenges, potentially eliminating them forever? Well, what if I told you that the strategy and action steps that I'm about to share could result in helping your organization build a stronger service culture where everyone is treated with the highest level of dignity and respect, improve communication that ensures there's no confusion concerning what is needed to consistently deliver exceptional customer experiences? What if I told you it will enable you to have more effective leaders whose capacity to create a culture of excellence is elevated, and that they in turn will have fully engaged employees who enjoy working together as a team with one purpose in mind, consistently wowing every customer? And you'd be able to create a culture of excellence where you're known for industry-wide, making you a benchmark that others want to follow. And to top it off, suppose you also were able to increase sales and profitability. Again, what would that mean to you? So before I dig deeper, let's quickly outline what we know from experience does not work. Maybe you've tried a few of these in the past, like those catchy one-size-fits-all training programs that don't work because in most cases they're not sustainable, or those generic one-size-fits-all one-time webinars and workshops that have little or no substance because they're not customized to meet the unique customer experience and employee engagement gaps within your organization. And most definitely, what doesn't work are programs intended to be a quick fix for employees so leaders can mark off on the checklist that everyone has attended, even if it doesn't motivate or inspire participants to change. So what works? Just what does it take to overcome all these pressures and challenges that I've mentioned and at the same time increase employee engagement, brand recognition, sales, and profitability? Well, I'd like to break it down into 5 simple steps. It starts with knowing specifically where gaps exist within the customer experience, having a solid action plan to close the gaps, effective systems and processes, leadership and employee alignment, support and buy-in, and organizational alignment or organizational accountability. But before I dig deeper into each of these steps, as proof that our processes work, I'd like to show you a small sampling of some of the organizations we've worked with over the past 17 years. You see, many of these organizations across a number of industries have used our processes in one capacity or another to enhance either leadership effectiveness or customer experience. So when it comes to achieving and sustaining 90% or higher customer satisfaction, I first recommend you identify your current versus desired state. So exactly what does that mean? Well, for clarification, you need to specify what you want to achieve. What's your vision by the end of the program? Simply pinpoint where you are today versus where you want to be in the future. Another simple way of doing this is to determine what success should look, sound, or feel like before, during, and well after your customer experience initiative. And of course, the desired state must be aligned with the goals and key priorities of your organization. And for clarification, when I speak of current versus desired state, here's a visual example of what I'm talking about. Next, you need to conduct a gap analysis to help establish what's getting in the way or inhibiting the achievement of excellence. For clarification, a gap analysis helps identify what's preventing you from achieving the desired goal. And if you're not familiar with the gap analysis concept or don't know where to start, I recommend you read my book, The 6 Principles of Service Excellence, which includes a great gap analysis questionnaire to get you on the right track. The gap analysis should be conducted with a group of leaders and possibly employees, similar to the process for conducting a 360 evaluation where you're getting feedback from a number of reliable sources. Then you compile and review the findings to determine or confirm where gaps in the customer experience exist. Also, for clarification, here's a visual model of the 6 Principles of Service Excellence. It outlines 6 things world-class organizations known for creating a culture of excellence have in common. And here's a snapshot to give you an idea of the types of questions that we use to determine where gaps exist. The actual gap analysis worksheet consists of about 30 questions based on the 6 Principles of Service Excellence. And again, for better clarification, here's a visual interpretation of what I'm talking about. Doing this type of in-depth analysis often indicates that the largest gap is the non-existence of an action plan, systems and processes, and a lack of self-accountability for driving excellence. Next, it's time to devise your execution strategy or action plan. And that should be based on your findings from the service excellence or customer experience gap analysis. The strategy shouldn't be created in a vacuum. I recommend forming a team of exemplary leaders and employees to help develop it. Part of the strategy process is to dig a little deeper, determining root causes of some of the customer experience gaps. And the strategy must be dynamic, incorporating action steps that will actively involve or engage all key stakeholders to include senior leaders, managers, employees, holding everyone accountable for driving excellence. And no strategy is complete without some form of ongoing communication to ensure everyone stays up to date and there is no confusion concerning what is expected. And here's an example of how you might structure your action plan. I recommend you keep it simple and easy to follow so there's no reason to not hold anyone accountable. Keep in mind, when you keep things simple, it's easier to guarantee consistency. And in taking action planning to the next level, here's a visual example of what we often create for our clients. It's what we call a critical path, which makes ongoing communication easier, helps ensure everyone is clear on what's happening and their role and accountability in driving excellence. Now, a key part of the strategy is to implement systems and processes that will create consistency in the delivery of exceptional customer experiences. So that moves us to step 4, which is to design, refine, and implement a set of customer experience supporting processes. This means the team you previously formed should also be involved in determining what processes need to be developed from scratch, updated, or customized. The team should also play a significant role in the actual work. Then the systems and processes should be piloted by a small group of departments to iron out the kinks before launching them system-wide. Examples of customer experience supporting processes designed to help you achieve 90% customer satisfaction are things like customized telephone etiquette and communication standards, detailed standards of excellence, service recovery or de-escalation processes, proper verbiage, customer experience training materials for leaders and staff, service excellence recognition for individuals and teams, and of course, daily team huddle content, just to name a few. In this step, implementation also includes scheduling and facilitating all staff and leadership training in the form of live workshops, virtual webinars, and online courses. And finally, step 5 is to evaluate the effectiveness of your training and processes to determine how close you are to achieving your desired goal. Here, you bring your team of leaders and employees back to assess what worked, didn't work, hindered the process, or still needs improvement. Did we actually achieve the desired goal, and who should we recognize as key contributors to the success of this initiative? That could be individuals as well as departments, divisions, or locations. And of course, we start looking at what's next to sustain the momentum. Keep in mind, creating a culture of excellence is a journey, not a destination. And as soon as you think you've reached the pinnacle of success, there's always something new that you'll need to focus on to sustain excellence. And when you've attained all of these steps, guess what? Success won't be far away. To sustain positive momentum, I recommend you invest time and money in celebrating those small and large milestones along the path to achieving and sustaining higher customer satisfaction. Next, I'd like to share a few client testimonials. But first, this is a great time to share just a few frequently asked questions about our 5-step process. 1, how long does this process take? Well, it depends on how close your organization or team is to achieving 90% and how committed you are to the process. 2, just how do you get leaders involved and engaged? Well, you make them a part of the process from the very beginning, especially during the gap analysis and action planning stages. And 3, how can you get you Theo to help us achieve higher satisfaction and loyalty. Well, I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, about what we're launching that will help you do just that. And as I established earlier, the result of following our simple 5-step process leads you to building a stronger service culture, improved communication, more effective leaders whose capacity to create a culture of excellence is elevated, fully engaged employees who enjoy their work, a customer experience that is renowned across all industries, and to top it off, increase sales and profitability. Now tell me, who wouldn't want that? So here are 3 testimonials or client success stories that I'd like to share with you. All of these are executives who were able to raise the bar and elevate the customer experience from average to extraordinary within their organizations with tremendous success. Here's Joanne Miller, who I worked with on 2 different healthcare organizations. I'll give you a few seconds to review her thoughts on our work. And this is Misty Miller, who I also work with on 2 different senior living organizations. And here's Hank Siegel with Hamilton Jewelers, who I've worked with for many years. Well, hopefully you found value in what I've covered. So as I begin to wrap up this session, take a moment to consider, based on what you've learned, what will you start, stop, or continue doing to apply the learning? Well, here are a couple of initial recommendations to consider. Maybe you will start by reading my book, The 6 Principles of Service Excellence, or maybe you'll reach out to me for more assistance. Maybe you'll stop assuming that this doesn't apply to your team or department because you don't have direct dealings with or interactions with customers. And hopefully you will continue being a role model of excellence that others want to emulate. And before I close this session, I'd like to take a few minutes to tell you about a new program that I am super excited about. It's a mastermind group I'm forming that is solely focused on helping leaders and organizations achieve and sustain 90% or higher customer satisfaction. It's a 6 to 12 month program where I personally work with you virtually and side by side to provide expertise, guidance, and direction from the time you start the 5-step process until you successfully reach your desired results. The program includes consulting from the time you start to finish, monthly one-on-one individualized coaching sessions with me to ensure you stay on track, regularly scheduled mastermind group meetings with the team of like-minded professionals just like you that are on the same journey who may be able to share additional perspective. It also includes engaging workshops and follow-up accountability sessions for your leaders and staff that can be facilitated online, virtually, or in person. And will help you create and customize the supporting processes needed to ensure rapid results that are scalable and sustainable. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been doing this type of work for many years, including 17 years with the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company, and since then, I've helped countless world-class organizations achieve their path to success. And when you join this program, you'll also gain unlimited access to our comprehensive library of training tools and resources. So who's an ideal candidate for this program? Well, it's designed for highly productive leaders just like you who are tired of mediocre customer service and looking for expert advice in helping them raise the bar. And what's the difference? What makes this program better than the others you may have already researched? Well, this is a fully customized program, not some off-the-shelf, outdated program that's no longer relevant. This program is customized and focuses on your specific challenges, gaps, and answers that address resolving and eliminating problematic issues unique to your organization forever. In essence, when you become a member of my mastermind group, we'll work together from start to finish, conceptualizing your vision for success, identifying customer experience gaps that are getting in the way, developing and implementing supporting processes to close those gaps, and fostering an environment of shared accountability for driving excellence. So if this sounds interesting, let's connect soon so I can answer any specific questions you might have and learn more about the challenges that you're currently facing. And if we're able to schedule time to talk within the next 5 days, I'll throw in a preliminary service excellence gap analysis to give you a snapshot of what you need to be focused on. Again, thanks so much for being part of this session. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and have a wonderful day.